All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, RB. Adobe Live. Who is that? Aria. Ralph. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to dive into, of course, how to live stream, and this is a continuation of yesterday's, so kind of cover some of the fundamentals, but then we're going to do some fun stuff. I basically have some good ideas for things, kind of like what you see here. I don't have the mouth synced up yet, but I'd like to get into some more of this advanced stuff. Again, I need to sync up the mouth, but again, just fun stuff, kind of taking live streaming to the next level is the goal. So hopefully you guys saw that. Bryant, welcome. Good afternoon, Bobby. Good to have you around. And yeah, so I'm going to show you how to live stream, which is why I have this little camera right here. This happens just to be a webcam. So we'll go ahead and shift gears. Yes. Come on now. Right, we'll get into this in a little bit, but what you just saw there a second ago was what is called, as you can see, this is Adobe Character Animator, which has live streaming capabilities. So we'll get into that, not to worry. I think that gets pretty deep. Also, After Effects can get pretty heavy as well, but not to worry. I made you guys a nice little guide right here, and I've been adding to it as well. So. And Ralph, if you weren't able to join yesterday, no problem. Again, this is what I'm going to share with you right now, and which I'll just kind of cover again really fast. So let me just paste that in the chat. There you go. Fantastic. There you are. So yeah, you could always watch the replays as well. But here I kind of dive into the simple and then kind of like the more advanced setups. Because you're going to need a mic. As you can see, here's a mic. Okay. As I screw up my setup, you're going to need a camera, like you can see right here. Boom. Little ring light. Okay. All these fun things. So again, here's a little boom mic that I'm using right now. This happens to be a Rode Procaster. Use the mic of your choice, and chances are you're going to get what you paid for. Right? This one was maybe a little, well, my most expensive mic, but you could also get little ones like this little guy that I just unplugged. So this is just a little Apogee mic plus, right? Works out really well. Just get a longer cable so you don't just yank it out of the computer like I just did. Of course, we'll have fancy lights like we have here, right? So I have about 4 of these. These are just the newer brand. You can need a couple lights splashing onto the green screen, which is behind me. And then in the software, that's going to key out and do all that fun stuff. So that's the goal. And again, I'll just switch back over. This is exactly what I just covered. At least one laptop for creating and streaming. Ideally, you'd have at least 2 screens, and then probably OBS streaming software, which is Open Broadcast Software, OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. You can go ahead and download that and get that party started, OBS. But we also want to make some fun graphics, and I need to finish up some of that. Oh, the sound didn't change the closer I put. Actually, no. This mic is the one that I'm actually using. And yeah, it should change based on how close or how far away it is from my mouth. Keep in mind for this particular mic, it is like a directional mic. So if I veer too far away, so if I just switch over here, let's do this. If I talk here and then I kind of go over here and I start talking the same amount, it actually gets, of course, much dimmer. So it just doesn't catch a lot of commotion that might go on off camera. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was playing with some fun stuff over here. Let's switch back over. Let's get rid of that. Right, here we have OBS, right? This is where we'd put all of our graphics. But what we'd want to do first is grab, say for instance, if my brain can think about this, video capture device, right? Let's grab this Logitech Brio. Wait for it. Come on, Logitech Brio. Yeah, that's always fun. All right, so That's typically what would happen to bring it in, and I think it's actually being taken up by Character Animator. That might be the problem, because I'm actually using the camera. We can see that it's actually picking it up. It's using the Logitech Brio right up here to get my face tracking as well. So that's kind of what's going on there. I think I actually need to quit out of Character Animator, and maybe that will help, right? Okay, cool. Let's remove that one. Yeah, let's remove that device. Bring in our video capture device. Pray to the gods. There it is. Okay, so it was being taken up by my by Character Animator, but here it is. This is what I would do. I'd come in here, start to crop this out. So we'd go into not the properties, but I really want to change these properties, by the way, because this actually should have 1920 by 1080. That's what I want to use. 30 frames per second, right? Because I know it can go that fast, and I know it's an HD mic, or excuse me, HD camera. From there, we can right click, we can go into the filters, add a filter for it, we can crop out all this junk that you can see on the sides, right? So this is largely a guessing game, right? But right in here, we'll kind of come in, we'll try to crop out left, let's go 100, top 200, right? Oh, too high. 150. The right side, 100 at least. Let's go 200, like so. Boom. There I'm cropped out. And then we can get into keying out. Let's do this. Color key. Keying out, say for instance, green in this case, right? I'm actually keying out that background and making sure it doesn't pick up my shirt or take out too much of my shirt. Yes. Let's go into custom color, actually. Let's change this. Let's go into custom color. And I would select the color of my choice. So let's just do this really fast. I do a quick screenshot. That's one thing we can do. Let's go custom color. Let's select color. Give me my color picker. Pick screen color. Come on, right? Right over there. That's the color I want. Yeah. Anyways, I can kind of pick something close. But again, this is what you get with free software. You're not going to get everything. That's perfect. Sorry for ignoring chat. So just like that, we could take out a lot of that green and try not to grab a lot of my face right in there, okay? So I'd probably spend a little bit more time jumping into Photoshop, because that's where I'd create my overlays anyway, right in here. So I can get the hex value or whatever I was asking for. Hopefully the hex value, because that's what I just copied. Right, there it is, key color. Let's paste it right into there. Like that. There we go, perfect. Needed to be just a little bit less intense. And just play with this a little bit. Like so. Okay. Seems to work for me, right? I could tweak this all day long. A lot of this depends on the lights. If I start moving these lights around, you'll see it'll actually get more or less of that background. See how as I move it, it's like, okay, well, that's why it helps to have really good lights and just get an even distribution of lighting on that background. All right, so that's what I'll do. Close, that looks good. Boom, let's get to the backgrounds. I think this is fun. Let's open up what we made yesterday. And let me know if you have questions. Cool. Yes. Thanks, Edwin, for bringing that up. Lighting up the background evenly helps a huge amount. That's probably the biggest thing I've learned, is just adjusting these lights to make sure you've keyed out the background really well. Just an even distribution of that light works out really well. Okay, right in here, we made this yesterday. Just made this simple background. Honestly, just some gradient fills, right? That we can always change accordingly if we want to. I can grab some other elements because in my library I happen to have just like a miscellaneous folder full of fun stuff, right? But let's go into miscellaneous, and I can grab maybe some fun bokeh, for instance, dropping it back there, and this might work for just like a nice background, okay? But we're gonna make video backgrounds anyways, right? So there it is, background JPEG. This is what I did yesterday, generate image assets. It's gonna generate that automatically. This is the screen that I'm working on, right? Inside screen assets, sure enough, there's the background that was just made, okay? I can add to it all I want, like right in here, changing the color, maybe making it a little bit more bright, kind of using this linear dodge with that layer. This seems to have a lot more pop in my opinion. All right. Cool. Done. That looks cool. It automatically generates that graphic, which is fantastic. I can come in here and add that image like I'm doing right now. Create new image. This will be my background. Just browse to it. You get the idea. Cool. There it is. Boom. Background. Put it underneath. There we are. We could start to see some of those holes that we can fix later. But now let's go ahead and get the lower third, right? Right over here, I made this lower third as well. Still being mapped to that same spot, right? So this graphic happens to be called, as we can see right over here, lower third. I could add something more to it because it's like, it's okay. You know, this is so, it's kind of boring. Let's be honest, and let's move my head over, shall we? Funny thing is I'm showing you OBS, but I'm like broadcasting with Wirecast. Some kind of, it's hurting my brain. But let's take these cool swooshes. Check this out. Look at this awesome swoosh, by the way. Look at this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is from Chroma Supply. That's, I'm pretty sure where I got it. Chroma Supply. And they have free assets as well. So yeah, usually I say, hey, Adobe Stock, but you know what? There's other cool things out there. Chroma Supply. Don't you just love that? Look at that background. Gorgeous. Look at that. Gorgeous. Love it. Look at that. I might want to animate something like that, to be honest with you. But there are freebies that they give away, so you can go ahead and download those sample packs or dive into some of their other textures that they have. Just so cool. I really want to get the sweep one. Looks so nice, right? Cool swooshiness, right? Some cool swooshiness. Let's use it right in here. Scaling this down. And having some fun with it. Right on. Let's take this. Let's actually take all these graphics. Let's just move it up so we can see it a little bit better. Here it is. Like that. Taking this element. And we will duplicate it. One's going to go underneath that rectangle. Okay. The other one's going to go on top. For the one that's going to go on top, what we're going to do is we're going to cut it out. Right? So I'm just going to kind of quickly select this side. Actually, hold on. Let me think about this. We're going to take this layer, Command-T, rotate. There we go. Kind of like that. That's what I want. Oh, it's going to be so nice. Okay. Got it. So we just made a layer sandwich. One's in front, one's behind. We'll take the quick selection tools. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all these colors right here. Grab that. Grab that. You know what? And then decide using the pen tool is going to be better, huh? Because look, this is a perfect arch anyways, right? Just come in there, grab that like so. Using my arrow keys, did you know you could just use your arrow keys to move? After you planted that down, you can kind of move it into position. Swoop, it's going to go down like so. Let's bring it over. This is making a path, and actually what I want to do is I want a shape. So you ready for this? I'm going to make a new layer. This is going to be a shape layer that I'm making. We'll take the fill down to about 25%, and I'll start clicking, and this is just going to give me this nice little shape layer is what it's making. And I'm keeping all this stuff like so. Grabbing that, like that, moving down. There we are. Bing. Bingo. All right, so I just made this shape layer, right? We can see that's the shape. We can go right in here and clip it accordingly like so. So that's all I'm doing. At this point, something like that. Let's just do this. There we go. That's all I wanted. Something kind of like that. There I have my swooshiness. And it'll be nice if this is even a little larger. Like that. And I can add a little bit of shading to it as well. But anyways, just a different lower third that I just made. This is being saved out as lower third ping. Saving that. I don't even need to worry about saving the file. But you can see this swooshy graphic that we just made, right? Again, making it a little bit more unique. Lower third is what we'll call this one. And then I'll grab that graphic. All right. Yeah, exactly, Edwin. Yes, I always say Adobe Stock. Yeah, you're like, hey, Adobe Stock's the place to go. I agree, it is. I agree. But hey, I'm always talking about Adobe Stock. So again, here's just kind of a fun current layout. I'd probably grab another light, because notice, look at how dark it is down here. Like, for this video, look at this. This is the difference between the two cameras. We got the high-end camera, for me, the one in the lower corner, right? And then for that guy over there, uses that this kind of cheaper Logitech. It's more affordable. It's not cheap. It's just more affordable camera. And I still got some keying issues, right? So again, you get the idea. I would love to use some more light, and I can. All right, cool. Streamception all night long. And thanks so much for hanging out with me there, just giving myself a little more light, even though it's making me look a little red. Wow. This light is not red at all, but it's making me look a little bit red on this stream. But yeah, I just need a little bit of color. All right. All right, cool. Glowy. Let's set that aside. And let's get into some animation, because really I want to take this to the next level. That's what this is all about. How many lights am I using in my current setup? Let's see if there's an easy way to show you. I'm using 4. I'm using 4 lights. In fact, I can try to show you right now. Make this a little larger. Pick that up. There we go. 1 light there. 1 light on this side. They're both the exact same light. I have a nice diffused light up there, and then there's another newer one right over there. Right? So that's kind of how it's all laid out. Hope that didn't hurt your brains too much. Right? I'm also getting a little bit of a shadow from this mic, but that's okay. All right, so since I moved my camera, I probably need to fix some of this keying. And let's crop it a little bit more. 300. From the left, 200. Like that. There we go. That's a little better, right? Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to making more animated graphics, just like it says in the description. I'm using Photoshop, using After Effects, yeah, using Adobe Stock as well. Yeah, so Jonathan, think about this. These are LED lights, so they don't put off any heat, even though it always looks like I'm sweating. These are just LED lights. Only one is like a more like a halogen bulb. So, all right, that looks good. Oops, that's stretched me out. Let's make me look a little bit thinner, like so. And let's get into creating some fun animation, because we did the static graphics already. Let's launch After Effects and take a look at, again, where we were yesterday. Just gonna keep this simple as possible, right? We'll come over here, we'll create a new composition, brand new, because we're gonna animate some cool graphics. 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. Click and OK, here we are, right? So for this composition, we could have a new solid, right, in the background. Is one thing we could do, right? That's purple. That's not bad, okay? There's more I can do. I'm actually going to deselect that purple solid because I actually want to have a gradient now. So I'm going to throw a gradient in here just using the rectangle tool right up here. Notice how these number of options that you get. Just using the rectangle tool, we're going to animate it. We're going to throw some text in here. It's going to be awesome. How do you connect the camera to the live stream, not the... Oh, great question, Ruby. Sorry. I'm back. I use this. This is how you do it. So for a camera, this is a DSLR. You usually need a capture, HDMI capture converter device. So this is just a Magewell. So from my camera, I get the HDMI cable, converts it to a USB, and once I plug this in to my laptop, then Wirecast and OBS thinks it's a webcam, just treats it like basically a webcam, which is awesome. Hopefully that makes sense. And by the way, that is all in that document that I just pasted in. So this how to live stream document has it all right down here. Here are the links for those things. The DSLR, HDMI to USB converter. So that's what that is. Cool. All right, let's move on because we're animating. How's everyone doing? Good? Oh, I can't post the same link twice. Yeah, so Ashi, that's a great observation. What do you think about just different lighting in general? Whether you have mixing different light sources, maybe having daylight for overall and have some warmer light for your face. 100% agree. Each one of these lights, by the way, you can change the tone of them, and a lot of them you can. You can go warmer, so more yellow or more white. You can actually see it on my face. You have these adjustment knobs to just give you warm light versus white light. It's all personal preference. One thing you want to do is you don't want to wash yourself out. You want to make sure that it doesn't blast light in your face to where you lose detail in your facial features or just in your skin. So just keep it a nice balance, kind of between not too bright and not too soft. But good job, good call. And even using some of these fun lights, you could always get one of these to add to your setup as well. Since I've been using red, well, darn it, this is I gotta change this a little bit, but it's cycling through all these fun colors right now is what's happening. So I will disappear at some point. Right, chances are, flashing, what not to do. There we go. Anyway, I would dial that in with red, but right now it's currently blue. Okay, so let's move on. I need to get into animating now. I got work to do, guys. I have work. I'm trying to make you guys look good. right? So again, like if I am using these blues and pinks and stuff, I think it's fun to actually augment that with a little spotlight like we have there. All right, so I just added this shape layer, which is kind of fun, right in here. We could see all the properties for it. We can see the gradient fill clear down in there, right? We can edit that gradient too. Clicking right there, I can change those colors if I want. I'm actually gonna crank that up a little bit more, not too bright. Kind of like so, okay? And let's yeah, that looks... We have the start point and end point. So this is what I'm working on now. I'm gonna drag this claw over to one side, drag this end point over to the other side. Maybe it will be at somewhat of an angle, right? Something kind of like that. And I'll make sure this is like filling the screen as well, right? So I just think this will be kind of cool if we take this, we have this lighting, okay? Excuse me. And since this is After Effects, let me move myself to the other side. And to check time, I have about 30 minutes. And Jeremy Lord will be up next. Tell me that's not one of the coolest names you've heard. Jeremy Lord. Even his thumbnail, he has that dramatic lighting. But anything in After Effects that has a stopwatch next to it can be animated. That means the start and end point can be animated, so can the colors. So let's try that. Let's click colors, right? It adds this keyframe right there. I'm gonna scrub down a little bit. I'm gonna click edit gradient, and we're gonna mix it up a little bit, right? So we're gonna have this kind of dip into more of the green. This one will kind of chase it. Well, we don't want Christmas, but we'll have this one go into like the yellow, for instance, like that. So that's a pretty dramatic shift in color, right? That's 30 seconds in. But if we take that back, we can see this gradient to this gradient. I'll hit the space bar and we can watch it just kind of cycle through these colors slowly. Yeah, all right, you got it. Coughing into my elbow. So... Just gotta, I'm not going anywhere today. I am good. I'm staying home. Hopefully you are as well. What's up, Tunk? Good to see you. How do you zoom into your screen? Just so you know, since I'm on a Mac, I can actually use, under accessibility, there's zooming options. And then I have something called zoom. Well, anyways, I can't get to it right now. It's called Zoom It, and that will give you a magnifying glass if you want a separate app. So anyways, that's kind of what I use. That's looking pretty good. Let's take it back. You can see it kind of cycling through those colors, right? Really subtly, right? And we could do this all day long, right? But that's what I want to just kind of show, like this range of colors. Because at least my theme, so if I was going to do live stream, which I am doing one, it's showing like... just a multitude of colors, like the sort of the different facets of work that you can do is kind of what I'm referring to there. Right? We'll take that back over there. Let's take that back into the like that. Added that keyframe, and now we have these fun colors that are actually just kind of changing in the background. Right? It gets a little muddy right there. Not crazy about it. Right? I probably want to fix that. So let's edit this gradient again and make sure it doesn't get into any of that muddiness. And we stay within sort of a red, pink, teal, blue scenario. Okay, but let's do a little bit more. I'm going to jump in here since you are making your own custom live stream. You want to include your... name in here. So I'll jump in here. Let's go ahead. Aria. Hopefully it's okay that I use your name. Aria Wagner. There you are. We're going to type in your text. The text for your name right there. I lost my project panel. That's always fun. Anyways, I don't really need it, but let's just change my workspace to animation. There we go. Bring it back. Because what I actually want right over here, we have right here Aria's name, but I want to actually change the font as well. Because chances are, this is what I would use. I would typically use Adobe Clean since I work for Adobe. You could actually get into something a little bit more fun, of course, right? So kind of scroll through some of this content. I am going to keep it really clean. It's probably going to be a sans serif, but keeping it big and bold like this. Aria Wagner. Let's take this, let's scale it up really large, okay? So now we have it like so. Now we could take this, hit P for position, right down here, click one keyframe, scroll clear to the end, add another keyframe, and then just move it across. So your name is kind of scrolling in the background. Right? So this isn't that, I mean, this is okay. It's, oh man, it's going through all these pretty colors. I love it. So look at this. This looks pretty good. I actually like this white. This looks pretty good. But if it feels like it's a little distracting, we could play with the blend mode, just changing that to something like overlay. Right now we have Aria Wagner custom background. Command 0, thank you. Oh, or Command 0? Yes, I was missing my project panel and I don't know where it went. Thank you so much. We could do something like that. We could add a stroke to it. We could animate all these properties. This is moving kind of slow. This is okay. I'm thinking of something else. We're obviously animating all these colors in the background. Could we do this something similar with colors inside of her name? So taking this, just drawing out another shape layer just for kicks. And let's put this shape layer underneath that. Okay, cool. All right, so this is what I've done. Right over here in After Effects, I have this shape layer. So this is the, going to be the color inside of the text. So I put the text on top, shape layer is below, and right over here, we're going to change the track matte. So again, this is on top. I'll move this over just so you can see it. There's the text. So this shape layer underneath, I'm going to change the track matte to give it an alpha matte of the text layer that is above that current layer. So selecting it there, now I can start to animate this shape inside, which will be fun, right? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it will be fun. I could be wrong, but that is kind of nice going in there for this shape layer. Playing with some of the gradient controls again. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn off that track matte for now, just so we can see this a little easier. And we're going to change these colors. Kind of the reverse of what we already have. But what we could actually do is we could take this, hopefully you guys are enjoying this, taking this same animation that I did earlier, copying those keyframes. That happens to be for the gradient colors. So we'll go to this shape layer now, pasting in those keyframes, excuse me, taking those 3 keyframes. I know you're thinking you could just move those keyframes, I'm lazy. So I'll just go to layer, time reverse layer. I just flipped those, that animation, and now the animation should be happening in reverse, unless I didn't have them selected. Anyways. Let's just do this. Zoop, zoop. Like that. There we go. They're basically reversed now. Ah! I had another gradient fill. You can actually have multiple gradients. I had one on top of the other, so that was my problem. Okay. Let me just undo this a couple times. There we go. I broke it when I applied it. I'm sorry. Adding a keyframe, going down here, changing the gradient, you get the idea. All right. Cool. All right. Yes. Changing this some. There we go. Let's just apply that alpha matte again. And now we just have this kind of cycling through different colors in just a different way. So yeah. You like the song in the background? Oh, good. I should probably make a note. If you ever hear talking in the background, let me know. But that is by Basket. High G is the name of the song. All right, so Aria, there you have it. Saving that, I'm going to get into some more fun things. So I'm just going to go ahead and export out this using Adobe Media Coder. This will be our background, right? Oh, Aria, I'm glad you like it. Good to hear. So again, simple colors. I would spend more time on this, but I want to get into Character Animator. So that's going to be really fun as well. So typically you'd render this out, what, 1920 by 1080? HD quality, that whole thing. So you get the idea. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about rendering this out. I will save this, but it will open up Adobe Media Encoder. I'd queue that up and I'd render it. While that's happening, Bojana is in the house. Bojana, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see ya. All right, so. So, yeah, Daniel Lopez, good job. You could rotate the colors 180 degrees. I've tried a couple different things. I've even tried moving the start and end points, but I'd rather have it like cycle through colors. Another way to do this too as well is just applying a hue and saturation, like you're saying. You can apply a hue and saturation and have it cycle through all those colors like 180 degrees, which is a great idea, right? Again, don't have time to get into that, but you can add that effect, hue and saturation, animate the color wheel, and you got something pretty exciting as well. Cool. If you want to control it, that's when you're going to use the gradients like I was doing. So I'm going to be using Character Animator as long as I don't break my machine, right? Because Character Animator has the ability to live stream as well. It takes a couple things to get it done, but I think it's pretty cool. All right. So we'll just wait for this. And I will quit out of After Effects in a second. All right. I'm really pushing my machine. Let's just quit out of After Effects. See if I could do that, if it'll let me. All right. And welcome, everyone. We do have illustration in Photoshop with Jeremy Lord up next. That's cool. And then live from the sofa. That is tomorrow morning. Wow. There's only 12 hours when we're not streaming each day, but we're basically live for such a long time. All right. All right. Let's just kill it. There we go. Let's move on. Character Animator. is friends with After Effects, right? But basically you can take yourself and turn yourself into an animated character, or at least to have an animated character talk and have your voice and all that fun stuff, right? So you can see this version of me so far. Let's open up this scene. You can also easily break things, but the cool thing is you could bring that right into Wirecast or into any other tool that you want, like OBS and Wirecast. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to switch back. Okay, finally got this squared away. This should work. But basically, you also have different controls. So as I raise my hand, you can see I can select Q. That's probably my other hand. Let's go to A. There we go. What's up, everybody? Just waving my hand. Also, this hand right here, this is the one if I hit Q. That top level, Q, W, R. We can go to J, right? For this hand, I have my little clipboard. Let's give myself a magic wand and even a pencil, which I have to put in my other hand. Actually, it's a pen, but I'd have to put this in my other hand because technically I'm left-handed, right? So again, super easy to work with. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's easy to get started, but once you start customizing, it can get really tricky, okay? The eyebrows I haven't changed, but you can actually manipulate the eyebrows. These are all controls for this character. Now, when you first go into Character Animator, you're going to be given all these characters. So you can start with some of these basic characters, right? We can go, and whether you're an Illustrator or Photoshop Pro, you just pick the one you want for this character. So I can use Chad as this Illustrator file. It will load it up. The reason I use Illustrator is they're easier to change because I can select a color across all the layers and then change that color. But you can see what it's doing right now. So again, this is my Chad Illustrator character. Here he is right here, okay? And I can say, hey, you know what? Let's edit the original. Like so. Again, you could do the same thing in Photoshop. It'll launch him. Here he is. What's up, Chad? Let's take this. Let's just do some recolor artwork, because we're just going to change this really fast. Okay, this is just a quick, easy change. Locking down that, flipping it to the other side. Again, just doing a drastic change just so you know that that's what's going to happen. Okay, off to the side, the key thing here is every layer's named something specifically. So I'm going to save that file. I'll go back into Character Animator, and we'll see this character update with these new colors in a second, and it's still being animated, right? So that's what you could do. You can add additional controls as well. So again, we can grab some of these other characters. I happen to have like, oops, sorry, that's rigging. Grab a character like a ninja. So I have this ninja that has additional controls with them. So you can start really rigging up these characters to do unique things, like I'm going to show you with this ninja, okay? So right in here, let's wait for it. It's preparing the scene, and here's my ninja. The ninja is actually talking, right, based on my voice, which is coming from this mic, so I should turn it up a little bit more, right? It's coming from this little mic that I have on my my desktop. But let's go over here, right over into the, wait for it, the scene, and here's all these controls that we get with this character. So for instance, we could do W, we could hit Q, so basically we can go left to right, and even give this person a fist that we can then move and shake around. Okay, so you pick the character that you want, you customize them, pick one that has kind of all the features that you want right in here, because all this rigging is already set up, so you don't have to deal with any of this rigging if you don't want to, because it could get pretty intense. Obviously, there's a lot of controls in here. The strength, if there's a lot of movement to your character, right? I probably shouldn't have picked this guy, but I wanted to show you the one that was being displayed earlier. Here we go. All right, so here's one that I was working on. Right down here, it's going to take a couple things if you really want to get this set up, but right here, this is the Stream Live button. So you can display that scene on active devices for NDI output, which I forget what that stands for, something display output. But I can hold down the Command key and click right there to open up this dialog box. So I actually have already set up NDI in here. So it's NDI tools that you're going to want to get. So you're going to want to get an extension, basically, so Character Animator can talk to OBS or Wirecast in this case, right? So that's what's happening right here. Clicked right here. Command click. NDI output. Let me click right there. Actually, it will open it up. Oh yeah, NDI tools. Here it is. This is what you'd have to do to hook it up. You download the NDI tools, which I've already done. And what you're going to get for those tools, by the way, after you've customized your character. And I'll give you a reference video as well. I should just download it. Here we go. New Tech NDI tools for Mac. So you're going to get the Mac or Windows version. You're going to install two basically like plugins right in here. As you can see, you're going to need this New Tech NDI for Adobe CC, so we'll recognize it. And then there's also this NDI video monitor. So I can go NDI video monitor to open this up and pick my character animator. So it'll open up this window. It should, provided Wirecast isn't getting in the way, but you could always use this tool as a way to just check to make sure it's working. Network device interface. Thank you, Daniel. I knew it was something simple. But NDI, you know, too many acronyms floating around in my brain and it hurts. Okay, so let's move me over. Back over to the other side. We'll go into OBS, which is what we were working with. Right, here I am. Instead of using me as the video capture device, let's go in here, let's click plus, and here's NDI source. Selecting that. We'll go new source, and if we did everything correctly, provided I'm already using it on Wirecast on my other laptop, so that's the problem. There might be some conflicts, but there it is. Paul's Adobe Character Animator right there. So selecting OK. And now he's brought in here. But again, let's move me down. There we go. I got a silly look on my face. Let's bring this back up. Okay, so this is the problem. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. So, yeah, like magic. Ashi, do you like it? What? Right, and we should still have these controls. So let's move this off to the side, taking me right over here. Let's make this a little smaller, right? And you can see, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, buddy. Yeah, it's working, right? We have this as part of our live stream. And guess what? It is working right over here as well, because the same thing is happening in Wirecast as well. So let's bring that up. Yeah, buddy, do your thing, right? Yeah, right? You get the idea. Magic wand, because it is like magic. So hopefully that makes sense. Or this is a back scratcher. It's like, scratch my back, like that. You get the idea. Cool. Hopefully you guys think this is fun. I think it's an absolute blast, right? And by the way, when you go in here, there are more characters you have access to, right? So this character that I got, that I'm still in the midst of customizing, right, actually came from right down here. See more puppets. Boom. And you could see I just used Alex. Alex was the character I used. Pick whichever one you want. You got Gina, you got Dudley, you got a number of them. Big shout out to Graphic Mama that made this character. But you could see right in here all these awesome characters that, yeah, you could pay money for. But look at how well they're done. So nice. And guess what? Since I'm streaming right now, let's take Paul 2. Let's edit the original. You can see what that looks like as we get a little bit more advanced. Here's what this looks like. What I was doing was just like giving myself like some facial hair, right? And changing the eyes. But you can see all the layers are right over here. So it's a matter of maybe even turning on maybe all the heads, right? And then in Illustrator, you can go in and select this. Wait for it. If I could select it. This brown color, for instance, and I could do a select same fill color. So it will select that fill color. Hopefully it's all that person's hair that then you can change to your hair color. So that's how you would change it. Can you make your own characters? Of course you can. All you have to do, Michelle, is follow this format, right? And again, this is a more complex character. You can have just the front face. You don't have to have all these different profiles, right? So for Chad, for instance, which is one right out of the box, just keep in mind you just have to label all the layers like so, right? Left eyebrow, right eyebrow. You get the idea. I encourage you to actually start with one of these and just go in and edit the shape. And as long as you are using that same naming convention, everything should be fine, right? So right in here, let's change that. You get the idea. The mouths, if we take a look at the mouths, right in here, keep these mouths, because this is how your character talks. All these different mouths, right? Neutra, A, D, E, F, you get the idea. Photoshop or Illustrator versions. Okay, how do you create a customized stream deck? What do you mean this stream deck? This Elgato stream deck? Is that what you mean? Let me know. Try to be a little bit more specific, if you could. But yes, I also do have a stream deck right here. And just go to Elgato's site, and it will show you how to customize your stream deck with all the different screens. So you could switch around like this to this to a schedule page, which we don't need to worry about. All right, cool. Yeah, I look. You look so blue. My eyes are too blue for this illustration, so that's one thing I would want to change, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, right? In terms of taking your streams to the next level, right? Because what have we done? We've done so much stuff, right? Only thing that didn't work is I didn't render out that video. But chances are I would actually go out to Adobe Stock, and I would just download a bunch of video backgrounds. And there's also other sites where you can get free stuff like Pexels. You know, you're going to get what you pay for. If you didn't pay anything, it's going to be like, okay. But the key thing is to take that content and then customize it like we were doing. Like add your name in there, have it cycle through different colors, you know, make it exciting and specific to you. I would even bring in some of your artwork too, Aria's artwork, right? I usually add to Adobe Media Encoder Q just so I have all the settings from YouTube. That's why I do it. All right, I love blue too. Blue happens to be my favorite color. So again, here's Aria Wagner's. Those colors get a little muddy. Not a fan of it. Since I still have a couple, like 1 minute. Another thing we talked about is, say for instance, let me just take this purple solid back there in the background, since this was mentioned. Cycling through colors. Hue. Just type in hue. And make sure you have enough room so you can see everything. Okay. So sorry. Close panel. Too many panels open. Let's just drag this out. Hue and saturation, dropping it on there. And animating it accordingly. But I'm kind of out of time for that effect that I've just added. Colorize hue. There we go. We have that turned on. Go down a little bit further. We'll just add 1 to it. Boom. And now we've cycled through all the colors in the color wheel. Sorry that was behind me, but that's behind my head. I did colorize hue, and then it's spinning through the color wheel. So you get the idea. That's it for me. Hopefully you guys had fun with this stream. I had a blast. Just kind of working on these graphics just for fun. Ultimately, you're going to need put together a nice package, a little graphics package, you know, to impress your friends and annoy your enemies, right? Kind of like I was doing with this. So you get the idea. I want to be respectful of your time. We have Jeremy Lord up next. I got to work on the syncing. I apologize. I'll work on that syncing for you. Yeah, thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful night or morning or wherever this may find you. Hopefully you're inside hanging out, and I just appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We'll see you next time.